Good evening and welcome. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I am Vedant Agarwal. Well, the Constitution debate is back in focus ahead of the crucial elections in Maharashtra and Jharkhand. Remember, this debate began before the Lok Sabha polls and it took centre stage in key constituencies, and it had real impact as far as the voter turn, as far as the performance of both the BJP and the Congress were concerned. But this time around in Maharashtra, the Constitution has become a very emotive issue, given the fact that it's closely linked to the entire caste conundrum as well. The Congress continues to push for caste census. Rahul Gandhi spoke of reaching the 50% reservation ceiling as well. This as the BJP, particularly the Prime Minister, continues to push for caste unity. The Prime Minister spoke of caste unity on day one of his political campaign in Maharashtra, saying that, well, ek hai to safe hai, essentially calling for unity within the Hindu fold, something that the Prime Minister also drew upon back in the Lok Sabha polls. Will this yield political dividends for the Congress and the BJP? Where does both the parties stand when it comes to the entire caste conundrum? Well, with the Prime Minister mounting the reverse constitution attack, has the Congress's red book gimmick been exposed? Before I introduce my panel, let's quickly listen in to all the political reactions that have come.
कांग्रेस के लोग संविधान के नाम पर अपनी एक अलग लाल किताब बंटवा रहे हैं। कांग्रेस की लाल किताब पर ऊपर तो लिखा है भारत का संविधान, लेकिन लोगों ने जब भीतर से खोला तो पता चला कि लाल किताब कोरी है। सारे पन्ने कोरे, उसमें बाबा साहब के संविधान का एक शब्द भी नहीं लिखा है। ये उनकी बाबा साहब के प्रति जो नफरत है ना, उसका ये नमूना है।
एक तरफ कांग्रेस पार्टी और इंडिया गठबंधन, दूसरी तरफ बीजेपी और आरएसएस। ये लड़ाई है। हम कहते हैं कि संविधान को बचाना है। संविधान हिंदुस्तान का है। संविधान जनता की रक्षा करता है, गरीबों की रक्षा करता है। और बीजेपी चाहती है कि इस संविधान को खत्म किया जाए और जैसे पहले हुआ करता था वैसे एक बार फिर हिंदुस्तान को चलाया जाए।
साथियों, कांग्रेस पार्टी जानती है देश जितना कमजोर होगा, कांग्रेस उतनी मजबूत होगी। और जब कांग्रेस मजबूत होगी तो देश मजबूर हो जाएगा। कांग्रेस क्या करती है? अलग अलग जातियों को लड़ाना, यही उसकी चाल है, यही उसका चरित्र है। इसलिए आपको कांग्रेस की इस खतरनाक साजिश से सावधान रहना है। आपको याद रखना है, एक है तो सेफ है।
जो तोड़फोड़ की सरकार यहां बनी है, उस सरकार को फिर से लाने की, मजबूती देने की कोशिश के लिए कर रहे हैं। वो कभी नहीं होगा। लोग एक बार देख चुके हैं, आपने चोरी करके हमारे एमएलए को उठा लेके चोरी करके अब सरकार बना लिए हैं। ये कोई आइडियोलॉजी पे नहीं बनी है सरकार। ये सत्ता में आने के लिए हर रीति का वो कोशिश करके किसी तरह सत्ता टिकाना, इस मकसद से वो आघाड़ी की सरकार बनाई।
Joining me on Left, Right and Centre this evening, Shehzad Poonawalla, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Mahima Singh, Spokesperson of the Congress, is also with us. Amitabh Tiwari, a political strategist, and Dr. Kartikeya Batra, political researcher. Thanks all very much for being with us. Going across to you first, Mahima Singh, has the Constitution, or this red booklet, as it were, become more of a political tool? Every speech of his, Rahul Gandhi has a red booklet in his hand. I mean, what is the point that you're trying to make?
Jai Hind, first of all, I strongly object to your addressing the Constitution as a red booklet, Vedant, because as you would see if you go on to notice the facts and discover them across various tweets that my leaders have themselves tweeted, the same Constitution which you are referring to as a red booklet, rather I should say the same edition, the same version of
I'm not referring to it as a red booklet, the BJP did, but go ahead.
No, you have called it a red booklet. I object to it strongly, not only as a Congress spokesperson, as a citizen, as an advocate of the Supreme Court of India. I would say it is absolutely objectionable because the same booklet, the same Constitution has been handed over to various ministers of this government, even to Mr. Narendra Modi at various occasions. So first of all, rectifying that, I will move on to the question of intentions. Today, BJP's intentions are under the scanner. In fact, they are questionable because they do not want to talk about the Constitution. The very sabotage of the Constitution by the person at the helm of it today, the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, that was indicated by many of his sitting MPs ahead of Lok Sabha polls 2024, Mr. Anant Hegde, Ms. Jyoti Mirdha, was very telling. And I think we need not delve onto that question any more than that, because those who talked about the BJP's intentions of the sabotage of this Constitution were not even granted tickets. To understand the BJP's anti-Dalit mentality and the Ati Shudra mentality that Mr. Khadge has today referred to in one of his tweets, you just need to go forward and read two books that I'm recommending to you. One is by Sudhish Mini, Sellers of the Inferno, and the other is by Bhavar Meghvanshi, where he writes, why could he not be a Hindu when he was a Karsevak? These are both Karsevaks of many, many decades. They turned Karsevaks as teenagers, and then they had to leave because both of them were Dalits, and many alike have written about what is the treatment of Dalits within the RSS, within the BJP ecosystem. And when the Congress talks about it, when the Congress talks about caste census, when the Congress talks about the categorization of castes and noting down the statistics, the BJP strongly objects to it, not only objects to it, but rather gets very, very fanatic because they have a major problem with statistics and data. The moment statistics come out, their whole fake narrative will break down. That will be a cracking point for the BJP's fake narrative, which is why
I take your
Mr.
point.
Rahul Gandhi
You're making a fair point there, Mahima Singh, and let me get Shehzad to respond to that. But before that, let me tell you, I mean, it's sort of ludicrous that you're telling me that I shouldn't be sort of calling the Constitution the red booklet, because it's you, both the Congress and the BJP, have politicized the Constitution, not me. I mean, you're holding up the Constitution at political rallies with a clear intention of scoring political brownie points. So don't tell me. But Shehzad Poonawalla, your response to what Mahima Singh said. Go ahead. Go ahead, Shehzad.
Very much.
Thank you, Vedant. And Vedant, if somebody is taking objection to the usage of the term which you rightly attributed to the BJP, then perhaps you would know in Maharashtra they distributed copies of the Constitution which were empty from inside. And when the Congress was asked why they did this, they said it was a notepad. Making a notepad out of the Constitution is a bigger insult than using the word red booklet as you have done while paraphrasing us. Anyways, let me come to more serious and important issues. Vedant, instead of holding up a copy of the Constitution, please ask the respected spokesperson of the Congress party to answer some specific questions. Jammu Kashmir Assembly has seen 370 resolution. Please, can I not be interrupted?
Go ahead.
I am being interrupted by somebody.
No, there must have been an audio issue.
Vedant, 370 resolution was passed. 370 resolution was passed in the Jammu Kashmir Assembly. This resolution means that if 370 is brought back as they want to, the special status, the Samvidhan of Babasaheb Ambedkar will not apply in Jammu Kashmir as it did not till 2019. We saw the Chief Minister of Jammu Kashmir for the first time swear oath on the Indian Constitution after 2019. For the first time, we have seen the Valmiki and Gujarwal, Bakarwal and other Samajas get the Arakshan benefit after 2019 when 370 was done away with. For the first time, we are seeing Prevention of Atrocities on SC/ST Act being implemented in the valley. So if anybody is anti-Dalit, anti-constitutional, anti-Ambedkar, is those who are standing with the resolution on 370. Point number 2 very quickly. First of all, please answer this question that in 1961, who was the one who opposed reservation for Dalits? Mr. Nehru, when he wrote to the state saying that you will become second-class citizen. Between 80s and 90s, who opposed the Mandal Commission report? Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi got up in parliament and said that I do not want this. Their slogan was na jaat par na paat par, mohr lagegi haath par. In fact, an interview given by Rajiv Gandhi, he said that Arakshan is given to those who are quote-unquote Buddhus. Thirdly, in 2004 to 14, the Congress party devised the mechanism that, just 10 seconds more. In 2004 to 14, not only did they do away with the Dalit reservation in Jamia and AMU, but they wanted to hand over OBC reservation to Muslims as per the Rangnath Commission report. They already have done this in Karnataka. In West Bengal too, this has been done where 77 OBC castes have 75 Muslim castes. So if anybody is anti-Dalit, anti-OBC, it is the Congress party. We have in fact given a Prime Minister from the OBC community for the first time who has completed 3 tenures. Who have you given as the OBC Prime Minister?
Okay.
Mahima, please answer that question.
Mahima Singh, I'll come back to you, but quickly let me take opening remarks from all our panelists. Amitabh Tiwari, how much of this is going to yield political dividends? Because we saw the constitution debate at the center stage, even in the Lok Sabha polls. But how do you see this playing out in terms of political dividends, both for the Congress and the BJP?
No, see, caste census is a tricky issue, and we've seen that in the Lok
Particularly
Sabha
in
elections.
Maharashtra, where caste is much more complicated.
Yeah, particularly in Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, where the NDA suffered losses, it was primarily due to the caste census pitch. So the BJP is very wary of it, and clearly we see that the BJP, which has tried to consolidate various caste groups under the Hindutva umbrella and has been successful also to a large extent over the past 10 years, it is the leading party amongst the upper caste, OBCs, SCs, SCs, all of the subcastes or all of the caste groups of the Hindu community. It does not want to perhaps play on the caste pitch. It is comfortable on playing largely on the Hindutva and the development pitch, because not only Hindutva, the development is also used as a narrative to attract various caste groups towards it. So it does not want to repeat the mistakes it has done in the Lok Sabha election, and does not want to give Congress or the Mahavikas Aghadi or the India bloc that edge in the Jharkhand or the Maharashtra elections, because it is a sensitive issue. And when people start discussing about it, the Congress party are clearly saying that if they could pass a law to breach the 50% cap, it could open a lot of demand from very influential caste groups. We already have a Maratha agitation. We have Patidars asking for OBC reservation in Gujarat some years ago. We have the Jat community demand for inclusion in OBCs. So this could open a can of worms of sorts for the BJP, and the BJP does not want to play into the hands and wants to play on its pitch, which is largely Hindutva plus development.
Karthikeya Batra, come in on this. Do you see this new slogan, or perhaps this new call that the Prime Minister has come up with, "Ek hai to safe hai," find some sort of resonance among the voters? Because this caste consolidation does seem to be working for the BJP. It has worked and not worked. I mean, of course, Haryana and Maharashtra are two completely different states, but in Haryana, it did work for the BJP.
So, Vedant, if BJP's emotional pitch is based on religion, the opposition's pitch is based on caste. So these are two emotive pitches essentially pitted against each other. And so, of course, the BJP is wary of one and the opposition is wary of the other. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Now, as Amitabh Bhai was saying, over the last several years, the BJP has been successfully able to build a rainbow coalition of different castes, especially the non-dominant OBCs and the non-dominant SCs.
Yes.
Under the sort of the larger rainbow of Hindutva, right? Now, what happened in the Lok Sabha, especially in these two states, in both Maharashtra's Vidarbha and North Maharashtra and Jharkhand's ST seats, is that the BJP saw huge reversals. And so if you look at Jharkhand, where I am currently, 5 ST seats were lost by the BJP allied alliance. And in Maharashtra, in Vidarbha and in North Maharashtra, the Congress did relatively well in the ST seats. And one of the reasons was the whole constitution pitch. I'm not sure how much the caste census pitch works in isolation. So I think there's a difference between saying that this supermajority will allow the BJP to end reservations versus that we will do caste census. Together, they may sound like a very sort of coherent narrative. But in isolation, in a state election, does a caste census pitch make sense? I'm not sure. It cannot work in isolation, is my sense. As I understand, assembly elections are a lot about micro issues, bread and butter issues, because your MLAs are people you see on a regular basis. So, sadak, the nali, the bijli, the pani, all those things are very relevant in an assembly election. At the Lok Sabha level, such macro pitches might work more effectively. But my sense is that at the micro level, you need to club them with other important daily bread and butter issues. So I'm not saying that the Congress is not doing that. I'm just saying that that is my observation. It makes sense for the BJP to be preemptive about it and cut its losses if there are any.
I think Mahima saying that was an interesting time to get you in. How do you respond to what Karthikeya is saying, that, you know, caste census and the caste census pitch alone might not work in isolation, particularly when you have the Mahayuti sort of very strongly pitching its development model. And at the same time, you know, if you look at the perception is that the BJP is talking about some sort of integration, some sort of consolidation, and the Congress is talking about division. There's a lot of misinformation there as well. I would certainly concede to that. But, you know, it's also a battle of perceptions. So how would you look at that?
Vedant, as an anchor, your authority should be non-partisan, neutral, which is why I objected to the Red Book remark of yours. Now, letting you know about what we are doing in inclusivity, not in isolation. We are not talking about just caste census in isolation. Everywhere we have fought elections, we are fighting elections based on local issues. Our promises are based on local issues, which are well researched and based upon the inputs by the locals. Now, when we talk about justice across our promises, across our manifestos, we oppose the treatment of SCs, STs, Dalits by the BJP in the state, kind of incidences in the state of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, sorry. Recently, you saw a Dalit woman who lost her husband in the hospital was made to clean the blood clots from the bed by the medical officer there at behest of the Madhya Pradesh BJP government. Similarly, you would remember the case of Seema Patra in Odisha. Seema Patra, one of the BJP leaders in Odisha, actually made her house help clean the floors with her tongue. So these are reports, these are issues which have been reported from the BJP-ruled states, from the BJP-ruled, regimes where the BJP actually endorses inequality. And if you might not know, and the viewers might be reminded of the fact that the inequality today in our country stands at, the worst levels, worst than when it was during the, what it was during the British Raj. So the Congress promises actually talk about guaranteeing justice to women, justice to the downtrodden, justice to SC, ST, Dalits. When the government policies and schemes are based on caste equations, why should not we have a census? In 14 years, Prabhu Shri Ram returned back to India.
That's a fair point.
But the BJP has not been able to conduct a census in 14 years. It's a major question. It's a prominent question. I hope you will ask.
That's a fair point. And Shehzad Poonawalla, respond to that. And also the larger question of, the kind of divisive remarks that top BJP leaders have also been making. I mean, we saw today how Home Minister Amit Shah said that the Congress wants to snatch away the reservation from the SC, STs and give it to the Muslims. I mean, these are divisive remarks and communal remarks that really sort of lower the entire political discourse. Would you not agree with that? And it backfired for the BJP in the Lok Sabha polls, as we saw.
Vedant, I am happy to take all the questions and answer each of them one by one, but you will have to be patient with me because you allowed Mahima to make such broad stroking comments about the BJP that those need to be answered as well. I'm going to start with your comment, but with the promise that you allow me to address each comment. you have a problem with Amit Shah ji. You have a problem with Amit Shah ji quoting about how the Muslim Ulema Board and 180 Muslim organizations wrote to the MVA saying that we want religion-based reservation, to which the MVA acceded, and that is unconstitutional and against what Ambedkar ji had devised in the constitutional scheme for reservation. But you don't have a problem against vote jihad being used by the Samajwadi Party leaders, or you don't think that comments like Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha is Nach Gana to be divisive or to be hateful.
Though Shehzad, I must say there is no such thing as vote jihad. So let's not use such terms. I'm against the usage of terms like vote jihad and love jihad. So let's steer
there's
clear.
1 second.
Yeah.
Vedant, 1 second. First of all, when this Mahima ji said so many things about the BJP, that the BJP doesn't believe in equality, BJP is anti this, anti that, you didn't stop her once.
That's for you
I
to respond.
quoted vote jihad statement made by Maryam Alam of the Samajwadi Party. Maryam Alam of the Samajwadi Party and Mehboob Ali both made those comments. Please, Vedant, either be fair, give me the opportunity to address the questions, and then pose a question, or else don't be fair. That's all.
Go ahead.
So please have patience, bro. Thank you. Secondly, Mahima talks about women. You didn't stop her once to ask her that their leaders have called China NC imported mal. They have called Sita Soren tribal woman rejected mal. They have called Rekha Patra, Firad Hakim. Mia Firad Hakim has said to Rekha Patra that she is a mal. Those comments are pro-women comments. Not once did you stop her there. Anyways, let me move on. Caste census. By the way, states can't do caste census. They can do caste survey. Karnataka government has already done a caste survey. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar opposes the release of its report. Why? If you are so committed. Himachal Pradesh, you have hired a government. Why haven't you committed one caste survey there? No answer. Who stopped the caste census in 1951? It was our dear Chacha Nehru. No answer. Who said that in 2004 to 14, after doing the caste census, we will not table the reports and the results of that? The UPA government. No answer. Now let me go on to the next point. I asked Mahima Singh ji, she made all kinds of arguments about Dalit atrocities. By the way, Mahima, for your kind information, the maximum Dalit atrocities and tribal atrocities were in Rajasthan under Gehlot. And today the Prevention of SC/ST Act is applicable to Jammu Kashmir because 370 has been abrogated. You want 370 back, and therefore I circle back to my question: are you for 370 or are you for one constitution in Jammu Kashmir? Are you for 370 or are you for reservation in Jammu Kashmir? Are you for 370 or are you for the Prevention of SC/ST Act? Do not escape that question with your large rhetoric which is based on lies, because we have an OBC Prime Minister, you don't.
Mahima Singh, 20-second response from you, and then I'll quickly get in your other panelists. Go ahead.
Is the BJP spokesperson trying to derail your debate as per his convenience, which is their modus operandi, not shocking at all. Now, I want to ask him, why did RSS, BJP and ABVP oppose recognition of SCs, STs and OBCs?
No, but your response, Mahima Singh, on the Article 370 point, because that's something that the Prime Minister also said in the campaign.
SCs and STs?
Your response to the Article 370 point, I think that's become a sort of...
Is your debate on, are you willing to derail your debate, Vedant? I would like to ask you that. Your debate is based on caste census, SC, ST, OBC issues. Are you willfully deviating the debate?
No, there is no derailment of the debate since we're talking about the Constitution. Since we're talking about the Constitution and the Congress's commitment to the Constitution, your response to the point that Shehzad made about Article 370, quickly, and then I'll get my other panelists.
Article 370 propaganda has been failed by the state of Jammu and Kashmir in these last elections. I think the BJP has no face to talk about that propaganda, whether it is Ram Mandir or Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. They could not even field 49 candidates in 49 constituencies. With what face is the
All right, Amitabh Tiwari, come in on this. Amitabh Tiwari, quickly, I mean, I also need to understand how this entire caste arithmetic will work in Maharashtra, because of course political pundits have pointed out that there could be some sort of a non-Maratha consolidation in favor of the BJP, but what is the sense you're getting in terms of how the caste arithmetic could play out in Maharashtra?
No, essentially the caste arithmetic would play out on the basis of regions of Maharashtra. So largely the Maratha agitation, in my opinion, is limited to Marathwada and some parts of North Maharashtra, where you could see Maratha versus an OBC sort of a polarization. However, in other parts, like let's say Western Maharashtra, if you see Western Maharashtra, most of the candidates of Mahayuti and MVA, largely from NCP, Ajit Pawar or Sharad Pawar, belong to the Maratha communities. So here it is a lot about, or in these regions, it is a lot about the individual strength of the MLA and the various caste groups they are able to onboard. Not only there is a Maratha versus OBC polarization in some parts, there is also a Dhangar versus ST
Yes.
Polarization. There is a Mahar versus Matang polarization. So there are various kinds of polarizations which are happening. What happens is that when national leaders come to LE campaign, they tend to focus on national issues because
That's
they are
right.
not going to discuss on bread and butter issues.
Right.
And because of the lack of an overarching theme, the national leaders also want or expect or are expected to fetch votes on their name. So BJP is pushing Narendra Modi into the campaign to get votes from Modi premium, and
Right.
Rahul Gandhi
As
also
we have seen in
the
most
right
state elections, that has been the BJP's modus operandi. But Kartik Bharadwaj, the last word to you. Kartik Batra, I'm sorry. You know, this entire pitch by Rahul Gandhi that, you know, we will breach the 50% ceiling on reservation, given the fact that the Maratha reservation issue is such a raging one in Maharashtra, do you see this sort of a pitch working?
It's a tough question, Vedant. Hypothetical, right? We'll know after the elections. But, you know, I've always said that, as I said earlier, right, that a lot of these things that are being said cannot be done after winning state elections.
Exactly.
So one is that the Congress's inability to form the government center disallows us from testing whether they will actually do this or not. Okay. Second is, what can you now do at the state level? You have 3 state governments. You can do limited versions of what you are claiming in those 3 states. Have you done that? To my understanding, Telangana, I think, launched the caste survey recently. Shahzad is also saying that Karnataka has done one. But does it stop there? So imagine that even at the national level, there was a caste census. What after that?
Yes.
You have to use it for something. Now, Rahul Gandhi is saying that they will break the reservation ceiling and they will go beyond that. At the state level, you can't do that. But at the state level, can you do something else?
So these are more jumlas. These are more jumlas, as it were. I'm afraid
No, Vedant. I'm not saying that jumlas. I'm saying that if you don't do enough with the data, then the people will perceive it as jumla.
Sure.
Now that you have it at the state level, you have enough policy levers to showcase कि अगर मेरा time आएगा, then I will deliver this. Because at a micro level, at the state level, I have delivered that.
That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point to make. And perhaps that's what is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm completely running out of time. Thanks all very much for being with us on Left, Right and Centre this evening. The Maharashtra poll battle only heating up with new jumlas and, of course, top leaders, bigwigs on the campaign road. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.